I had a phone call very early the other morning from Dick Johnson, who's just come back from overseas, and he's really excited about it, so that's a change.
What was the biggest concern, you believe, of the top running drivers at the moment about changing to Group A cars?
Well, initially I don't believe everybody knew exactly what Group A really was, and the top teams were a little concerned. But now, as they've all gone overseas, or most of them have gone overseas and found out a little bit more about the rules and regulations, they're coming back a little bit more excited.
The cars you believe will be front runners in 1985 in Group A?
Well, I believe the Rovers, Jaguars, BMW, Holden Commodores, and possibly Falcon, or one of the Falcon or one of the Ford group.
Being an international formula, do you believe that that will then lead maybe next year to a full international attack on the James Hardie 1000?
I believe so, yes. I think that's really what's been holding it back a little, is the fact that it's not an international formula. We didn't have an international formula, but now with an international formula, we've got no excuses.
When you first suggested Group A, how did you put the minds at rest of the dissenters who didn't want to go Group A?
I don't know.
You're still doing it?
Sheer obstinance, I guess. Just keep at it and persevering.
Now, for the James Hardie 1000 coming up at the end of September, there will be a Group A class, and I believe it looks like it'll be better supported than even you had hoped.
Well, we decided to run a Group A class as a forerunner for next year, but we thought 12 cars at the most, 15 cars if we were lucky. But the way it's shaping up now, we've had at least 20 indications that there's going to be cars running.
There seems to be more leading Australian touring car drivers away overseas doing their pre-Christmas shopping than I've ever heard of before.
Yes, I don't know whether it's pre-Christmas shopping or whether they're trying to sneak in some little bits and pieces, but yes, it's happening.
The race may be 2.5 months away, but every outing is vital. Even a rainy day on Mount Panorama is useful. Today it gave Brock and Larry Perkins a chance to test some wet weather tyres. Brock is favourite for the event, but it may be the last year he is. There are some big changes on the way at Bathurst, and we don't just mean the new exit to the pits being built at the end of Conrod Straight. From 1985, you won't see these Group C cars here at Bathurst anymore. They'll be replaced by Group A cars, which are much more like the cars you can buy off the showroom floor. So how does Peter Brock, who's won here at Bathurst 7 times, feel about that?
Well, you know, as far as I'm concerned, Group A is being introduced January the 1st, 85, and although there's some cars running here at this year's Bathurst, we'll be there with flying the flag in 85 Bathurst. This year we're running the cars under the current rules and regulations, which is Group C.
One of Brock's main rivals this year will be former Formula One champion Alan Jones, who's just announced he'll be driving a Commodore with Warren Cullen.
What's the future of the Touring Car Championship for next year, do you think?
Actually, I think it'll probably be bigger and brighter next year than it has been this year. There's a whole new concept of motor cars coming, and it's just going to be a lot of different cars. They're probably going to be a little bit slower, and they'll be more spectacular, shall we say, because they've got smaller wheels and smaller tyres, and probably a little bit less horsepower, but not that much. So it's going to really fry the tyres up and give them a real good workout, I reckon.